What's up everybody, this is Danny, and today I'm doing the battle of the triple camera systems between the brand new OnePlus 7 Pro and the Galaxy S10 Plus. So the pop-up camera over here on the 7 Pro is giving me 1080p video, while the S10 Plus is giving me 4K, so it should be looking a little bit crispier. So let me know which video looks better, what stabilization looks like on both of these, and what audio source you think sounds better. I'm just going to switch off in between the two. So can't wait to test both of these triple camera systems. We'll see how the wide angle does, how the zoom does, how the video does in every lighting condition, and let's see if the cheaper 7 Pro can give the same quality as the Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus. Let's do it. Let's go ahead and start with the daytime pictures. All of these photos in this comparison video are shot on auto mode. All settings are left on by default, all untouched, no edits, straight out of the camera. Both of these phones have Pro Mode and RAW capture, so if you want the most out of these cameras, both of them have the ability to give you that flexibility if you need it. Both of these phones have great daytime capture, both full of dynamic range and lots of detail, but there are some major differences between the two after looking at over 500 images side by side. The Galaxy S10 Plus has a scene optimizer built into the camera software where it boosts contrast and saturation depending on the scene, and what that gives you is a more punchy and vibrant image. You can really see it on photos that include the sky, and also very noticeable when taking pictures of flowers. If you like a ready to share picture right out of the camera, then you will love the Galaxy S10 Plus. But if you like a more natural color approach and like to edit the photos afterwards, you'll probably like the OnePlus 7 Pro camera better. This is all personal preference. I also noticed that the Galaxy S10 Plus has sharper images all across the board right out of the camera. You can always add sharpness to the images later on the OnePlus 7 Pro to get that same type of look, but generally the S10 Plus creates the sharper image. Of course, this does go back and forth, and I've had some images where the OnePlus 7 Pro is actually sharper in some scenarios, but I wouldn't blame most consumers for favoring the shots from the Galaxy S10 Plus. Let me know which processing approach that you like better. When it comes to dynamic range, they do go back and forth, but the Galaxy S10 series is known to overexpose by a stop or so, and it's also known to have some highlight clipping in the images, and you can see that the OnePlus 7 Pro does a better job with controlling highlights in the clouds most of the time, but for the most part, the images are very close to each other. They both have ultra-wide cameras as a part of their triple camera systems, but the Galaxy S10 Plus is wider and it's noticeable, so you'll be able to capture more of the scene. It's so useful having this ultra wide on both of these phones, but I think the Samsung has the best ultra wide on the market right now. The S10 Plus has a 2x optical zoom, and the OnePlus 7 Pro has a 3x optical zoom, and this is also preference, but that 3x zoom gives you that extra reach, especially when you're at a theme park. This helps a ton, so if you want some extra zoom, the OnePlus is for you. Now, the Galaxy S10 Plus does have a higher megapixel zoom sensor at 12 megapixels, so that is a bonus, where the OnePlus 7 Pro has an 8 megapixel, so I wish it was a little bit higher in resolution for more detail. They both have portrait mode, but there are some differences on how these images are shot. The S10 Plus shoots portrait mode with the wide angle lens, so you do have the flexibility to shoot without a forced crop, so it is more flexible, but I do like the way that the OnePlus's images come out with that zoom focal length. There's more natural depth of field. I love the skin tones on the OnePlus 7 Pro, and I feel like it has a more DSLR-like look. When it comes to video, they both shoot up to 4K 60 frames per second, which is really nice. They both have fantastic looking video, full of dynamic range and details. You'll notice that the colors on the OnePlus 7 Pro look very saturated because the video is being exported in Rec 2020 or HDR color space. If you convert this video to Rec 709, the colors look fantastic and have a great natural look, but that's a post-production step that most people won't know how to do, so the Samsung has the better approach for the consumer. Now, I do think that dynamic range and exposure changes are handled better by the OnePlus in certain scenarios, but they are both fantastic for video. Both are very steady when walking and recording 4K video. Both have optical image stabilization in both of the telephoto and main lenses. I think you'll be happy with either of these. I was really shocked on how good the OnePlus 7 Pro fared with the legendary super steady mode for stabilization. I had my son run around and I was chasing him, and while the S10 Plus looks slightly smoother, the OnePlus 7 Pro did fantastic and in 4K. You can shoot 4K video with both of these phones with their zoom lenses, which is nice if you need to record video from farther away. But the advantage that the Galaxy S10 Plus has is that you can record 4K video with the ultra wide camera, where with the OnePlus 7 Pro, you cannot at this time. I can't forget about all the selfie lovers out there. The OnePlus 7 Pro has a 16 megapixel pop-up camera, while the S10 Plus has a 10 megapixel camera along with an 8 megapixel camera just to capture depth. The Galaxy S10 Plus's front-facing camera is generally much sharper. Most of the time it captures the better color. They both do a good job with portrait mode, but the S10 usually creates the better effect. Both can have some noisy results, but I'm going to have to give it to the S10 Plus even at night. I shot way too many comparison pictures, so I'm going to show you more towards the end of the video, but when it comes to daytime shots, I'm going to give the edge to the Galaxy S10 Plus. Let's get into what everyone loves, and that is the low light performance. This is where I feel like the momentum changes for the OnePlus 7 Pro. The S10 Plus does capture more shadow and highlight detail, but does introduce more noise into the shot most of the time on auto. So generally, the S10 Plus captures more detail in the shot, but I prefer the noise reduction on the OnePlus 7 Pro. There is a Nightscape mode on the OnePlus where it captures more detail by taking multiple exposures, and when it works really well, but I found this mode to be inconsistent with blurring, and since I have the Snapdragon model of the S10 Plus, I don't have the dedicated night mode, but on auto with scene detection, it triggers the night mode, so all these shots were taken with that mode triggered. The red color reproduction is much better on the OnePlus. This is generally one of the harder colors to land when it comes to nighttime on mobile sensors. The Galaxy S10 Plus tends to land on the warmer side of white balance on most of its shots, where the OnePlus usually lands cool, and this is also personal preference, so let me know which one that you think looks better. I think the OnePlus 7 Pro is more consistent with overall exposure and producing the better photos. And of course, like any other camera comparison, the S10 takes some better photos depending on the scene, and it does go back and forth. But let me know what you think in the comments below. I'm curious to see what people think. When it comes to nighttime video, the OnePlus captures more detail, but the Samsung does have more contrast and boosted colors right out of the camera. I personally prefer the OnePlus at nighttime on video, but this could also land on the side of personal preference. That is a lot of information to go through, but to sum things up, here is a quick recap. I think the Galaxy S10 Plus has sharper daytime photos with a better ultra wide camera. I think the video can go either way, both really great captures, and I think the nighttime and low light gets an edge to the OnePlus 7 Pro. So if I had to pick just one camera though, I would pick the S10 Plus overall. It is a better performer, especially with the front-facing camera as well. The thing to take away is that the OnePlus 7 Pro has been getting a lot of hate on its camera, and if you look at the images side by side, they are not wildly different from one of the best cameras out on the market right now. So this is a huge leap for OnePlus because they are closer than ever to pumping out a flagship camera. I'm hoping that a few camera patches can fix some of these inconsistencies, and this test makes me very hopeful for OnePlus devices in the future. Let me know which one you think is better. Let's be nice in the comments. This is just tech after all. I love doing these comparisons, so if you want to see more, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Let me know which camera that you would like to see compared with the OnePlus 7 Pro next, and I will see you in the next one.